Hello, welcome. I am trying something new today and filming outside on my porch. So there may be some unpredictable sounds or who really knows. But I just felt inspired to be outside despite it being super hot right now. But it's morning time, so it's not too hot yet. So let's just find ourselves seated on the mat. Today we're going to work with themes of just finding inner joy and contentment, inner peace and love. So finding a comfortable seat with a tall spine, shoulders down, away from the ears, little tuck of the chin. And let's just start with 3 deep breaths, exhaling with a sigh. So inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. Your pace. Now just perhaps settling in with your natural breath rhythm, breathing in and out through the nose. And if you like, we'll start with a mudra. Today I'll be using the mudra of the inner smile, the Hansi mudra, Hansi. But basically you take both hands and bring the thumb to your index, long, and ring fingers and let your pinky be away. So with both hands, and then just resting the back of the hands on the knees or in the lap. So taking the mudra, softening the gaze or closing the eyes. And just notice how you feel. Perhaps you notice how the thumb against the fingers makes a gentle smile with the hand. Perhaps that brings some breath up into the chest, up into the head and neck. Just bringing in a feeling of lightness or joy, or just feeling a bit of aliveness. Just noticing how that makes you feel. Perhaps the smile of the hand brings a smile across the chest, smile across the face. And perhaps bringing to mind something that brings you joy. A child, a friend, a pet. And as I was thinking about this class this morning and planning, what brought me joy was thinking of the deer and their babies that come through our yard. I live in a neighborhood, but we really have a lot of deer in this neighborhood, and they come through the back of this yard daily. And recently, a lot of the moms have had babies, and one of the moms had twins. So it just brings me such joy to see the mom with her 2 little twins with their little spots on their backs and just their playfulness. Once it was raining and the baby deer were just running around the yard like they had the zoomies, and I was just imagining the mom being maybe a little tired from them. But it just brings such joy. I feel that in my hands and my heart, across my face. So you can bring the image of deer or animals or pets or babies, friends. Just bring that into your mind and your heart center and let that infuse your practice today. can start to let the mudra go, maybe opening and closing the fingers, maybe rolling the wrists and opening the eyes if they're closed. Good, and let's straighten the legs out. They've been bent for a few moments, so straighten the legs out, maybe giving them a little shake. And then we'll come into Dandasana, or staff pose, pulling the toes back towards the shins. Engage your quadricep muscles and have a nice tall spine here. Just feel the energy and strength in your body. It might feel good to reach the arms overhead as the shoulders melt down away from ears, finding your strength. And taking a deep inhale here. Exhale, folding over the legs any amount. This is our first forward fold, so it may feel a little different, a little tight or stiff. You might want to bend your knees. You may not fold as far now as you can towards the end of class. Just notice. Good. Pressing into the legs, bringing the chest up. And let's cross the legs again. You can either cross the legs as you had them before, or maybe come into fire log, bringing one leg on top of the other. This brings more intensity into the hips, so just do what feels good for you here. And let's just take some side bends. Inhale, reaching the arms up. Exhale, left hand down, right arm over right ear. And let's move side to side. So bring that right arm across the chest, right arm down to the mat, left arm up and over left ear, breathing into that side stretch, left arm across the body. And now just moving side to side at your pace with your breath, making the movement one that feels good for you today. Just breathing into those sensations in the body, waking up the side body, the low back, the waist. The next time you're over at one side, pausing there, feeling the sit bone pressing down, hand reaching away. Good, and then maybe inhale, looking up, bringing that top hand behind the back. Exhale, rounding over the knee, stretching through the spine. Inhale, opening up, looking up, noticing what's on top of you. I'm seeing beautiful clouds today. Exhale, rounding. And if you're inside, like I usually am, you can just imagine clouds or sunshine, birds. One more time here. Really good. Bringing that arm over the ear and then just transitioning to the other side. One arm down, one arm reaching over the ear, breathing into that side body stretch. Good. And staying here, or maybe opening up, looking up, stretching across the chest. Exhale, rounding. Inhale, opening. Exhale. A few more times here. Next time the arm is over the ear, we'll come back to center, bringing the hands behind the back, coming onto fingertips or palms, opening the chest, maybe looking up, just noticing how the breath feels in that upper chest in this back bend. Taking a deep inhale. Exhale, chin towards chest, walking the fingertips forward, stretching into the hips and low back any amount. Notice what feels best for your body throughout this whole practice. at the airplanes in the sky. Good. On the next breath, pressing into the mat, lifting up, stretching out the legs and giving them a little shake here. Let's just come back into that Dandasana, so pulling the toes back towards the shin, maybe bringing some movement into the toes, wiggling the toes. Can you spread your toes wide, left to right? It can be kind of tricky. Maybe pointing and flexing through the ankles or making some circles through the ankles. Good. And then pulling toes back towards shin, tall spine, maybe arms overhead or maybe arms by your side. Either way is totally fine. Just breathing here, feeling the body, feeling your strength. Taking a deep inhale. Exhale, folding over your legs any amount. Maybe you still want that bend in the knees. Maybe you can walk your hands closer to the toes. Just see how you feel. Good. On your next breath, pressing into the legs, lifting the chest up, and let's cross the legs with the opposite leg in front, or that fire log with the one shin on top of the other, and just settle into the hips. See if that feels okay for you. And then let's just take some twists through the spine. So inhale, reach up. Exhale, twist to the left hand behind the back, right hand to left knee. And we'll just move side to side before we land. Inhale, lifting up to center. Exhale, twisting to the right. Inhale through center. Exhale. Move at your pace. Next time you land on one side, pause there. Staying in the twist, inhaling, feeling that nice tall spine. And as you exhale, maybe you twist slightly more to the side. And maybe bringing a little oscillation in the neck, looking over the front shoulder, then looking over the back shoulder. Just looking front to back. And then maybe looking over that back shoulder, re-engaging in that tall spine, twisting through your inner core, spine, feeling that strength, but feeling that lift and lightness too. Chin back to center. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, twisting opposite side. Finding that engagement here. Maybe bringing those oscillations into the neck again. Oh my goodness, I'm seeing my cat looking out the window. That is bringing me joy. She wants to be here practicing with you all. She's giving me the look. The next time you're looking over that back shoulder, just stay there and re-engaging tall spine, lifted heart, bringing in that inner joy, that inner smile, that inner lightness. Can be so heavy sometimes. Good. Looking back to center, reaching up with the arms. Exhale, hands behind the back, that beautiful open chest again. Maybe looking up, squeezing shoulder blades together, and just breathe into the heart center here. Good. One more deep breath in. Exhale, chin towards chest, walking those hands forward any amount, releasing through the low back and hips. Let's take 3 deep breaths here. Wonderful. Let's press into the mat, lifting the chest up, and let's come around to tabletop pose. So coming to hands and knees, just finding a comfortable position for the knees. May want some padding under the knees, hands beneath shoulders, knees under hips. And we're going to do cat and cow, but let's reverse the breath. So let's take an inhale here. And as we exhale, come into cow pose, drop the belly, breathe out through the mouth. And then come into cat pose, inhaling into that belly, into that heart center. And exhale, releasing, breathing out through the mouth, lion's breath here. Lion's breath to release tension, circulate energy. Coming to tabletop pose, finding hands and knees. Let's reach the right hand forward with the left foot back for spinal balance. Your toes can be on the mat for modification, and also the right hand can stay down. Feel the heel reaching back, fingertips reaching forward, nice long neck. You're looking down in front of the fingertips. And let's move with our breath. Inhale, reaching long. Exhale, knee to nose, hugging the elbow in if the arm's extended. Inhale, reaching long. Exhale, rounding. Twice more. Reaching long, spinal balance. And you can stay here, but maybe bending that back knee. And maybe you can swim that right arm around and find that foot. Maybe it's there, maybe it's not. Just no big deal either way. But if you reach that foot, press the foot into the hand. Feel that beautiful opening across the belly, across the chest. Gaze coming forward off the front of the mat. One more deep breath in. Exhale, releasing gently back into your spinal balance. And then hand down if it's lifted, knee down. Coming back to child's pose, hips towards heels. Rest the belly on the thighs, forehead towards the mat. Just taking some deep breaths here. Just feeling the energy in your body just from those poses. Sensing a shift in energy, a lightness, a heat, a strength. Feeling some vitality. Good. And then let's come back to tabletop pose and do that on the other side. So finding your place here, left arm forward, right leg back. Engaging through the abdominal muscles. They're making this low back so it's not curving down towards the mat, but is relatively straight. And inhaling long. Exhale, rounding in, squeezing in. Inhale. Exhale. Next breath, spinal balance, reaching long, re-engaging, maybe bending the back knee, maybe staying there or swimming that arm around. Maybe you can find that foot back there. If you do, press the foot into the hand, open across your chest, gaze coming forward off the mat, nice long neck. more breath in. Exhaling, releasing, reaching long, keeping that strength. Hand down, knee down, choosing child's pose or coming into downward dog, walking the hands forward. Tuck the toes, lift the hips. Maybe walking out your dog, bending the left knee, straightening the right heel, or the right knee, pressing the right heel down towards the mat. And then switching sides, just feeling that sensation along the back of the legs. Good. And maybe walking the feet a footprint forward, pressing into the right hand, twisting to the left, bringing the left hand to the outside of the right leg, just bringing a twist into the body here. Good. Switching sides, left hand to the mat, right hand to left leg, looking under that left arm. Right hand back to the mat. Inhale, looking forward. Exhale, stepping forward, coming into your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Reverse swan dive, pressing into the feet, lifting the arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. And pause and notice. Feel yourself breathing here. Just reconnecting with the sensations in your body. Feeling your heartbeat. Good. On our next breath, let's inhale, reach the arms up. Clasp the fingers, release the pointer finger, and lean over to the right. Stretch along the left side body. Switching sides. Inhale through center. Exhale. Leaning over to the left. Stretch along the right side body. Inhale, lifting up to center. Exhale, swimming the hands behind the back. And you can place the hands on the pelvis and open the chest this way, or you may be able to clasp hands, reaching hands down. Either way is fine. Opening the chest here, a little slight bend in the knees. Breathing into that upper chest, breathing into the lightness of the body. Breathing in once more. Exhale, chin towards chest. Bend the knees. You can keep your hands clasped if you like, or bring them down to the mat. And just staying here and feeling that release of the back, release of the shoulders. It might feel good to look towards the right, bringing the hands over to the left. And then coming back to center, looking to left, bringing arms over to the right. Back to center. Bringing the hands to the low back, bringing them all the way down the back of the thighs and the calves. Hands to the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Let's step our feet back to downward facing dog. Great. And let's lift the right leg for three-legged dog. Press the right heel back. Feel the length. Exhale, stepping the right foot forward. We're coming into a high lunge. So right foot on the mat, lifting the arms up. Maybe taking a side bend here, bringing the right hand to the right hip, reaching the left arm a bit to the right. A little bit of a balance challenge. Just feel strong in the legs, strong in the spine. Bringing both hands back up to center. Exhale, swimming the arms behind the pelvis here. Hands can be on the low back or maybe clasping hands, or you can maybe grab a wrist. Open the chest here, maybe looking up. And then maybe folding the chest forward. Humble warrior with the back heel lifted. Good. Release the arms, press into the feet, and see how you can come back up to high lunge. Exhale, hands to the mat. Stepping back to downward facing dog. And let's come forward to plank. Knees can be up, knees can be down. Either way is fine. Bend the elbows, bringing the chest all the way down to the mat. And let's come to Sphinx pose. Tops of feet on the mat, elbows beneath shoulders. Feel the thighs and pelvis pressing down, feeling the lift of the chest. Deep inhale. Exhale, lower the chest down to the mat. Bring your hands by your upper ribs. Press up to low cobra. Chest down, tuck the toes, coming through table to downward dog or through plank to downward facing dog. Maybe walking out your dog. Maybe taking a releasing breath, a deep inhale through the nose. Exhale with a sigh through the mouth. Other side, lifting that left leg up for that three-leg dog. Feel the length, heel pressing back, crown of head reaching forward. Then stepping that foot forward between the hands, finding your footing, and then coming up for a high lunge. Left hand to left hip, right arm over right ear. Maybe taking that side bend, just noticing the sensation along the chest, the waist, the front of the right thigh. Back up to high lunge. Swimming the arms behind the back, maybe grabbing one wrist or clasping hands, open chest, looking up. Humble warrior. Chest towards the left thigh, maybe inside of the left thigh, arms reaching up any amount. Pressing into the feet, lifting up, high lunge. Arms down to the mat. This time let's step the back foot forward to meet the left, coming into that forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift with a flat back. Exhale, fold. Reverse swan dive all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands to heart center. And maybe let's just place one hand on the belly, one hand on the heart, and just check in. How's your body feeling? Noticing your breath. Noticing your heartbeat. We're going to move into breath of joy, because what would a joy class be without breath of joy? Breath of joy is done with 3 quick inhales through the nose and an exhale through the mouth. And you can do that just simply standing here in mountain pose, or you can bring arm movements into it. So it would be inhale, arms up, inhale, arms side, inhale, arms up, and exhale with a chair pose out the mouth with the hands reaching back. So you pick how you want to do your breath of joy. And we'll begin. Exhale completely. And then inhale, 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 exhale. Let's do once more. Coming back to standing. One hand heart, one hand belly. And just notice what you feel. Oh, the birds like the breath of joy. Good. And then let's release the arms by our side. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, looking up, halfway lift. Exhale, bend the knees, stepping back to plank. And again, you can drop the knees or have the knees lifted. Engage your strength here for one breath. And exhale, bending elbows, coming down to the mat. Tops of feet to the mat. Bring the elbows beneath the shoulders. Come back into that Sphinx pose. And maybe you want to stay here and hold Sphinx pose, or it might feel good to kind of sway the body side to side, just releasing any tight places, releasing any stuck energy. Just release those tight places, and then we bring in more lightness, more lift, more joy, more energy. Good. Once that feels evened out, bring your forehead down to the mat. Release your Sphinx pose. Arms by the upper chest, coming into that low cobra. Feel the strength of the back of your body. Exhale down. We're coming to downward dog. So you choose through table, through plank. You can always take a child's pose. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, step forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands to heart center. And let's step the right foot back and come into warrior two. So left foot forward, right foot back, arms to a T, gazing over those front fingertips. Good. And let's just take what we call a dancing warrior. So inhale here. Exhale, reverse. Right hand, right thigh, left arm reaches over left ear. Bring that left arm across the body. Bring the elbow to the thigh and reach the right arm over right ear. Once you get the general guidelines on the shape, you can make it your own, making bigger or smaller movements with the shoulder, moving with your breath, making this faster or slower. See what you need today. Just releasing tight places, breathing with our movement. Good. The next time, coming back to warrior two, straighten the front leg, and then let's come into triangle pose. So reach the left fingertips forward, bringing them to the thigh or the shin. Right arm reaching to the sky. Gaze forward or maybe up towards that top hand if that feels okay. Bending into the left knee, lifting back up, warrior two, hands to hips. Face the long edge of the mat with toes in, heels out. And let's just open the chest here, looking up. Hands can stay on hips, or maybe you clasp the hands again if you like that clasp. Deep inhale. Exhale, folding forward, keeping the clasp of the hands or bringing the hands to the mat. Might feel good to look to the right, bringing the hands to the left, moving side to side. Maybe once more each side. Releasing the hands down the backs of the legs all the way to the shins or the mat. Inhale, halfway lift with a flat back. Exhale, fold. Press into the feet, make a little bend in the knees and come up with a flat back all the way to standing. And just finding your equilibrium here. And we'll turn to warrior two with the right leg. So facing the back of your mat. Bending right knee, looking over right fingertips. Finding your warrior two. Good. And let's move with our breath. Left hand down, right arm over right ear, right arm across the body, right forearm to right thigh, left arm over left ear. Or any variation of this movement. We're basically just moving front to back, circulating energy, releasing tight places. Perhaps bringing in some joy to the body. If we bring joy into the body, it will often bring joy into the mind. And I suppose joy in the mind brings joy into the body too. So it must work both ways. Get it from all angles. Good. Working our way back towards warrior two. Let's straighten that right leg coming into triangle. Reach the right fingertips forward, bring them down to thigh or shin. Left arm towards the sky, opening the chest to the long edge of the mat. Maybe gazing up. A little bit more of a test for your balance. Bending into that front knee, lifting back up to triangle or to warrior two. And then helicopter the hands down towards the mat, stepping back to plank. Knees up or down. Exhale, bring the belly all the way down to the mat, tops of feet to the mat. And then let's come into Sphinx pose. And then let's look over the right shoulder, bending the right knee, and maybe our right hand can reach our right foot. If not, you're just reaching towards it. Just feel that pelvis pressing down, that opening in the chest. And let's switch sides. Right foot down, right elbow down, look over left shoulder, bend left knee. Maybe reaching that left foot. Releasing that. Forehead to mat. Reconnecting with your breath here. Now next we can return to doing each side, or we can come into full bow pose with both knees bent, clasping the hands on the feet. We'll take 6 breaths. So if you're doing one side, do it for 3 breaths and switch to the other for 3 breaths. So if we're taking full bow, we're bending the knees, reaching those hands back for the feet. Sometimes it's hard to get them. It's okay to do one side and then the other. Press the feet into the hands, open the chest. And we'll take 6 breaths, but you can also lower down to your forehead at any time. Switching to the other side if you're switching. One more deep inhale. Exhale, release, forehead to mat. Press into the hands, coming up to table pose. Might feel good to move the hips a little side to side just to release that back bend. Good. And then let's come to child's pose. You can have your knees together or knees apart, whichever feels best. If you have your knees together, bringing your hips towards your heels, resting your belly and chest on your thighs. And this might feel good to bring the arms back behind the body with the forehead towards the mat. Now, this may not work for everybody, and it's just totally fine to do it however you would like. You could have your hips and knees a little higher with arms overhead to take a little pressure out of the hips and knees. So see what works for you here. And this should feel like a reconnection with your body, with your breath, without strain. A couple more breaths here. Good. Let's come back up to tabletop pose. And we're going to work towards camel pose. If you're kneeling on your knees, you may want to double up your mat or put a blanket under your knees. And we'll first start with just the first level of camel pose. One hand on belly, one hand on chest. And then just leaning back slightly. So we have this, like in Dandasana, this nice long body. We're not curling in the low back or dumping the head back. We're just engaging through those quadriceps, leaning back slightly, feeling what muscles are engaging to hold me here. Might feel good to come forward and back. Good. You can stay with this movement, or it might feel good to tuck your toes, so you bring your heels a little closer to you, and reach that right arm down and reach the right heel. Left hand can stay on the chest or reach up for a half camel. Left hand back to chest, right hand back to chest, and then left hand to left heel. Maybe right hand stays to chest, maybe right arm reaches over. Right hand to chest, left hand to chest. Bring the tops of the feet to the mat. Some of us might feel good sitting on our heels. Some of us might want to come to table and move side to side. Either way is a perfectly good way to release that back bend. Good. A few more breaths here. You could take a child's pose or just sit kneeling. We're going to come back to that camel again. And we can take full camel if that feels good in our body. And we'll do like we did before. We'll take 6 or so breaths. So if you feel better, one, just keeping the hands on the belly and chest and moving back and forth, that's fine. Or taking one side and then the other, as we just did. So coming up to kneeling. Again, I like to tuck my toes. I need my heels a little closer to my body. And then let's start to lean back. So as we were in the very first version of the pose, leaning back, getting that right hand to right heel, left hand to left heel, pressing the pelvis forward, squeezing shoulder blades, looking up, knowing we can come out of this pose to kneeling or table at any time. And we're doing about 6 or so breaths, so we could be on one side. So moving to the other side, let's do that now. Great. Engage through your core, lifting up and then coming down to tabletop, moving the hips side to side, maybe coming to seated, on the heels if that's okay for you. And we'll just pause here for a moment before we come into child's pose. So just letting the spine re-equilibrate, and just notice, how do you feel? How does that pose change the sensations in your body, change the pace of your breath? And then when you're ready, coming towards child's pose, releasing that low back. Maybe this time hands overhead, but whatever feels best for you. Walking the fingertips over to the left, stretching through the right side body. Inhaling through center, walking fingertips over to the right. Stretch through your left side body. Just feel that low back, giving it some love and care. Bringing hands back to center. Coming up to kneeling, and then we're coming to lying on our mat. So bringing the hips to the center of the mat, and with no rush at all, rolling down onto the spine, vertebra by vertebra, maybe using your hands for support, or maybe rolling down using your core strength for support, or both. Landing on your back. Just maybe give a little tuck of the pelvis. Feel the low back pressing into the mat. Maybe just giving a little rock of your pelvis. So rocking the pelvis forward, making that lumbar spine have a little curvature, and then rocking the pelvis back, pelvis flat, or low back flat. And just stay with these pelvic tilts, or you may want to take it into a moving bridge. So pressing into the feet, tilt the pelvis, lift the hips up, maybe bring the arms into it. Just see what your body needs at this moment as we're starting to wind down our practice, exhaling hips towards the mat, hands towards the mat. Couple more times here. Exhale, pausing, resting hips on the mat. Notice how you feel. And let's just take a twist before we come into Shavasana. Bring the arms out to a T. Lift your hips, bring them over to the right, dropping your knees to the left any amount. Gaze can be up towards the sky, imagining those beautiful clouds and blue sky and sunshine. Or maybe gazing towards right fingers, looking towards, in my case, the cat who wishes she was with us. Next time, Lucy. Great. Chin back to center, knees back to center. Pressing into the feet, moving the hips to the left, dropping knees to the right. Gaze up towards the sky or over towards the left hand. Just allowing the body to melt and release. Really nice. Bring the knees back to center, chin back to center. If there's any last little stretch or movement that would feel good in your body, please take it now. Please do what feels best for you. And then when you're ready, body will come towards Shavasana, our pose of rest and assimilation. So don't skip this part. The whole point of the yoga postures is to prepare the body for stillness, for meditation. Maybe legs long, maybe arms by our side. Maybe you want to reconnect with that inner smile mudra, bringing the thumb to the second, third, and fourth finger, letting the pinky finger be free. Connecting to that smile with the fingertips. Smile across the chest as you breathe. Maybe bringing a smile to the face. Bringing that inner smile, inner joy to the mind. Perhaps bringing back that thing that brought you joy. I was really hoping the baby deer would come here for our practice, but I will just have to send a picture. We're just going to rest here for maybe 3 minutes, so allow yourself this time. You can keep with the mudra or let it go, making your body as comfortable as possible, and just breathing. Gently start to deepen the breath, wiggling fingers and toes, maybe rotating wrists and ankles. Might feel good to reach the arms overhead, reaching front to back, full body stretch, deep inhale. Exhale with a sigh. Maybe bending the knees, hugging the knees in towards the chest, just massaging across that low back. And then rolling on to right or left side, pausing there for a breath or two. Just connecting with that gratitude for your practice, that gratitude for yourself, for showing up to take this time to take care of you and increase your joy and lightness and happiness for yourself. And when we do that, we're able to share that with those we come into contact with. Pressing into that top arm, gently bringing yourself up to a comfortable seat. Just taking your time. Just finding that cross leg or whatever is good for you. Hands resting on the lap and just taking a few breaths here, being aware of your body. How do you feel? I truly needed this practice today. I wanted to bring in joy and lightness for myself, so I'm so happy I was able to share that with all of you, and I appreciate your being here and practicing and taking care of yourself. That brings such joy and lightness to my heart. On our next breath, let's reach our arms out to the sides, palms touch overhead, exhale, hands down to heart center. I bow to you. The light in me honors and reflects the beautiful light in you. Namaste.